Welcome to Stay Paid, your number one sales and marketing podcast on a mission to help you close more deals, keep more clients, build the life of freedom you're working towards, but only if you take action today. My name is Josh Stike, Chief Marketing Officer here at Reminder Media, joined, as always, by Luke Acree, President of Reminder Media. If you are listening to this episode or watching on YouTube, your eyes and ears do not deceive you. We are no longer in the studio. Luke,
We're
new
going
office.
raw, Josh. We're just getting real, authentic.
I know, I'm
That
thinking
was
about even
never one of
dropping
our
the
goals
intro.
in 2026, but we're gonna do it.
Our guest today is convinced that maybe we should just start going live, just drop in, no intro, no nothing. His name is Christian Walsh. He is a residential portfolio strategist and licensed broker with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services California Property, specializes in capital strategy, regulatory exposure, and transaction execution for complex residential portfolios across Orange County and beautiful Los Angeles. His popular YouTube channel, Wire Associates, has nearly 40,000 subscribers, where he discusses market strategy as well as hosting Real Estate Disclosure, a live series featuring attorneys, tax advisors, and industry specialists focused on portfolio level decision making. Some pretty heady stuff. Christian, welcome to Stay Paid. Thanks for being here.
I made it. I'm on Stay Paid. Now the question is, Josh, should I get a custom pair of shoes like that in the background since I've
Heck
been a
yeah.
guest or what?
Yeah, our old one of our previous social media managers she paints shoes, so she made Luke and I a pair of custom
Yeah,
Converse.
That's awesome. Every guest of Stay Paid should get a custom pair.
yeah, seriously.
Makes a
Yeah,
good
no,
commission.
honestly, I'm really excited to be here. Appreciate what you guys have been doing with Stay Paid. You guys have been grinding and providing so much quality information. So I really appreciate that. Plus Luke seeing you at conferences, just all high quality stuff. And it's above and beyond what you do in your day job. Like of course, you're helping real estate agents with Reminder Media, but this is next level. So I really appreciate you guys doing
Yeah,
this.
man, thank you. Yeah, it was great seeing you at the Explosion event in Laguna. That was awesome. You spoke on a panel. I was like, oh, we got to get this guy on our podcast. A lot of the intro went over my head. These complex strategies. I don't know them, but you crush it on YouTube.
Thank
And
you.
I would love to dive into your YouTube channel
Yeah.
because you have done an incredible job building an audience there, putting out content there. And it's something that, like Acree Brothers, I literally talked to my brother Steven when I got back from Laguna, that conference, and said, dude, we are not doing YouTube correctly. Like, we are just not on there. We are maybe from Reminder Media, but even that
Yeah.
needs work. But Acree Brothers specifically, we have one agent on the team, Adam, that's putting out some great videos that have had some decent traction. And he's closed, I think, 4 or 5 deals from YouTube at this point. But as a team, we're just not doing great. And the struggle we have is just the time it takes.
Hmm.
And it's like we understand the type of content we should do, but it's really just like, how do you do it practically from a time standpoint? Can you walk us through how you started building your channel and what you've put into it and give us any advice on that?
Yeah, and look, it is another full-time job, to be honest, when you're creating video content, but it is necessary these days to be doing video content. And used to be nice and be like, well, you do you do your dances on TikToks, you do your well, this would be controversial. You do your local airport information on Instagram and get a bunch of engagement there. That's great. And I guess that stuff's good. But honestly, where it's at is YouTube. And especially as AI continues to look for resources to answer questions, they're going to YouTube. There's already proof that they're citing content from YouTube. So long form content on YouTube is the place to be. For me, it started out at COVID. I was doing video before COVID, but when COVID hit and we were considered non-essential for a while, I was like, okay, what do I do? And my son, basically, who's a teenager, still a teenager, but he's much older now. They're growing up way too fast. Lots of kids like you, Luke. Um, he basically gave me a hard time. He says, Dad, you do video, but you have 7 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
that
thanks a lot,
hurts.
son.
Yeah. But he was right. The honesty of kids, right? So, like they're telling you, Dad, man, your belly's getting big. Like, like kids will be honest with you. So I dove all in, and by that I mean I tried a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. A lot of it didn't. And there's people out there who have a whole lot more subscribers. There's people out there who have a whole lot more, their videos get hundreds of thousands of views. I have a few that got 100,000 views. But what I did early on is I embraced what I know. And that's another important point to this is just talk about what you know and whatever background you bring to real estate. So many times we're just so wrapped up and forgetting, like focusing on real estate only, that we forget to take the angle of what we bring. Because real estate is one of those industries where everybody has a different background. So you got teachers, salespeople from other worlds, they haven't done anything, they're brand new. Embrace what it is about you that's unique and create content around that. Like one dude I talked to, we were talking about video and he likes to ride his bike. So I'm like, why don't you ride your bike and shoot videos of neighborhoods and talk?
Mm,
Combine the things you like. Put those together. So so for me, I dove into what I like, and I like working with investors, and I like working with properties that are tenant occupied. And especially during COVID, there were a lot of laws that were changing related to tenants and eviction moratoria, things like that. So I dove all in, stayed in the middle, and I'm helping good landlords and good renters. So that's the other thing is you don't have to be political, you don't have to be controversial. Just do what you do. The way I looked at it, especially early on, was like, hey, a lot of us do open houses, and a lot of us are good talking to people at open houses. We may not get tons of business out of it, don't get me wrong, but like people don't walk out of there and say that guy's weird. Like they say, no, it was a nice guy. We had a good
Well,
bond.
it depends who you are. Sometimes
That's
they
true.
do say that
That's
person
true.
was.
And maybe they do, and they just never told me that's what they say when they walk out. But like that's the way to look at it. And that's the other side of it. Like people get wrapped up, oh, I have to look perfect, and I hate the way I look, and I hate the way I sound. Well, that's how you look and sound to everybody, so surprise. But you don't have a problem talking on the phone. You don't have a problem at open houses. You don't have a problem doing what it is you enjoy, riding bikes and neighbor like bring it all together.
yeah.
Get out of your own way.
How much content do you produce? Like, how many videos are you doing a week on
Yeah,
YouTube?
great question. So that's shifted over the years. Initially, I was doing multiple a week during COVID, especially when there was just nothing else early on to do. Then I committed to 2 videos a week, and that was pre-recorded content. And the reason I specify that is because I shifted from that. So 2 videos a week. So I was shooting Tuesdays and Thursday nights, and I was releasing Wednesday and Friday. I was very consistent for years. Then the pre-recorded, I tend to do now one a week, and I do one live stream a week. And live streaming is a different world. You can still edit them, don't worry. You can still edit and release because you're not going to be perfect live.
Is your
And
pre-recorded stuff, is that the market update? Like where you're going over
yeah,
like,
so a great question. A great example of pre-recorded would be a market update. So you fill out your calendar with things you're going to duplicate and that are pre-recorded and then things that are unique that are pre-recorded. So I know every month at least I'm going to have one market update. It's going to be the same format every time with minor tweaks, but it's got to be easy. You got to sit down, bang that thing out. I'm going to have one foreclosure update every month, similar to the market update. And then usually I'll have a rental market update. Those do pretty well. And then some unique content. And unique content that's pre-recorded will be new legislation that's come out related to landlords and tenants. Could be, I'm trying to think of what else I've done. Um, just like talking about LA and how awful it is to be a landlord in LA. Like I know that sounds like I'm not in the middle on things there, but it's gotten to the point where that's you can't argue that. There's even renters arguing that. So um, and then the live content, which is fun, and that's similar to what you guys are doing here. This is you're picking guests that fit into the content you want to share. So for me, it's eviction attorneys. Those are my most popular ones. tax strategists. I had a personal injury attorney on teaching us what we need to worry about from a risk standpoint, like how he goes after landlords. Who else do I
Mm.
have on? Just different guests like that that
How
dovetail in there.
how long did it take to when you started making videos to where you started to see return?
Yeah.
And how did you measure that return from a value standpoint?
Yeah. So return. So in the beginning, look, at the end of the day, we need to sell real estate to survive. And it would be great to be able to just have a YouTube channel that somehow is sponsored by who knows who, and I don't have to sell real estate anymore, no transactions. So, because I started during COVID, it's not 100% fair to compare because it's a different time, a lot more people
Yep.
watching video. But I was starting to get listing leads because my content is listing focused, not buyer focused. So, I
Okay.
was starting to get listing leads very early on, within about 6 to 9 months, starting to get leads out of it.
Wow.
And I still consistently get several leads throughout the year, couple a month. And by leads, these aren't just people like these aren't like Zillow leads where like they clicked on a link and they're they're ready to or they think they're talking to the listing agent. No offense to all the Zillow lead people,
Yep.
but these are people who've watched my content. They know me. They're excited that I'm answering the phone for them. They're thanking me for answering the phone. So these are people who are already ready to commit. They're much further down the funnel than the average lead that you would call a lead. So again, very quickly, it continues to be a consistent flow, and it's been hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission income
It's
in the
incredible.
years.
Is your call to action in the video, do you close out your videos always or put in the middle, hey, if you are interested and need help, with real estate, give me a call and you flash your number up on screen, you put it in the caption, or how does that work from a like a
Great question.
perspective?
Let's dive a little bit into how you build the content. We won't go too deep, but you need your opening hook, and your
Okay.
opening hook will be the scroll stopper, then a quick intro that's going to keep them around. Then you get into your points. I do a mid-roll call to action, like something like, if you're digging this data, you're our kind of people, reach out and we can help you. That would be for a market update one. Then at the end, I will have a call to action for my email newsletter. That's been good and not so good. That tool, it's not like I get dozens of signups a week.
Okay.
Those trickle in, but that's also part of the follow-up. So I've got several thousand people that are in the email newsletter group and they're opening and reading them. That's the most important thing. You get a 50,000 and have a click-through rate of 0.05.
Yeah.
But I've got a 40 to 50% open rate, which is pretty good.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
good.
you would know open rates.
And it's really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that is and what I use for content, by the way, is the video I released or two in the week before. So that
Okay.
I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm making it easy. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of the funnel. And then the call to action, like it's funny because the call to action in a video would be like, subscribe, follow my newsletter, do business. Like we're asking them so many things. So I'm careful not to ask for too much in a video.
Okay.
Um, and then the last, actually on YouTube, the real last call to action and the most important one is actually make sure you check out the next video.
Mm.
So that's actually the most important call to action in the video is to get them to
That's
watch another
interesting
one
because we
because
don't
then,
do that with State Paid. We should probably start doing that, Josh.
yeah.
I know. I feel like I'm always throwing too much stuff out there. Like, here's our email, here's our Instagram, here's our YouTube channel. Maybe it's just watch the next video.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
keep
Well,
going.
that's it. Well, and it has to be more than just watch the next video. So for the end of this video, be like, you just heard Christian talk about YouTube and how the powerful success it had for him. You need to see this next video from blah, 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 where she
Yeah,
talks about X.
yeah,
So
it's a
it's got
great
to
tip.
be compelling
Yeah,
to
that's
get.
really, really good. Yeah. I love that. When you look at like the actual video part, like the shooting of the cameras you use, the
Yeah.
mics, the stuff like that, how did you start? Where has it progressed to? How would you encourage people to start there?
So great question. So you can't shoot video until you actually shoot video. Sounds silly, but it's the same stuff. We're going to use the same excuses like we do going to the gym. Like there's people who can't go to the gym until they get the best shoes, best outfit, best water bottle, find the best gym. So all of those people are getting in their own way with all the tools and tech and stuff. So to use that analogy, when I started in YouTube, I was using my phone. I was using a crappy webcam. In fact, in my very first videos, I was using my webcam on top of my laptop, and because of the way I shot, and I wasn't even editing them at that point in time, I had to like pop up into the video because I had to press the space bar key to start recording. And so I'd press that and pop up, and that actually became a thing for a while. I did in my videos intentionally, but that was just use whatever you have right now and then bolt on nicer technology. Because right now I've got a great setup here. It's a professional Panasonic camera and a teleprompter I'm looking through and all lights, all this stuff. But you don't need to start there. You just start shooting with your phone. In fact, like on TikTok, the pattern interrupt where you pick up your phone and start recording, like that's better than what I could do with all my professional stuff. That's going to get you that opening hook engagement. So
Yeah,
anyway,
they're saying that the raw, like just on your phone, just right up close and then pulling
yeah,
back, stuff like that is like a interrupt that is keeping people right now. Or
yeah,
walking, like even my brother Dan, who does a lot of our marketing, was like, "Hey, I need you to shoot some walking videos. Just go walk out in the parking lot and like the changing of the scenery behind you and stuff versus the professional
yeah.
studio shot." I mean, we've literally now moved. I mean, people listening to this, we're no longer in the studio because we're just seeing the studio is great, and then we'll probably circle back around. But now everybody has a studio, everybody's doing it, and it almost like lowers the consumer's trust, is what we're seeing. Like the actual audience trust, they want the just raw,
Yeah.
okay, you guys are just talking and chit-chatting. How much time do you think you throw in a week to YouTube? Like if you were giving an estimate?
It is a lot, and that will scare off some people. It is a good, and I'm doing more than the average bear because I do script heavily and I rely on AI for that, but I script heavily. I've
Yeah.
actually started using a teleprompter now for the pre-recorded video and actually the live streams. I've got a scripted opening and ending.
Okay.
Um,
The teleprompter app or a literal teleprompter
it's
that you
a
your
teleprompter
camera
from
phone?
Elgato. The
Okay.
camera's sitting behind it.
Yeah.
But you can use other resources like that. There's also tools that like Descript is what I use for editing, and they have an eye adjustment tool. Looks
Yeah.
creepy, but you could basically be looking like over here and it's bringing your eyes over there. Looks a little creepy. But yeah, so the quick answer is I'm spending at least 20 hours on video between scripting, shooting, editing. Please find a good editor early on. That's actually held me back, to be honest. I'm editing my own stuff. I see a local channel and she's great. She's got a great personality, larger audience for her content. She's not as niche down, but she has a great editor, and that's helped her catapult well beyond where my channel is. So get yourself a good editor. That's going to save time. Then the other side of it is engagement, follow up. Like if somebody comments on your video, in the beginning, it's going to be few and far between, but like don't ignore those comments. Go back, talk to them. You can even engage with the trolls. Like, and speaking of trolls and people who are going to criticize you, it will happen. It's going to happen on all the video services. It happens in real
Luke knows
estate.
that well.
I know, yeah, they troll me a decent amount. No.
Yeah, what you what'd you do to them, Luke? But
Yeah.
no, it's your channel, so you can hide them, get rid of them, and they
Yeah,
can never
what
see it
was
again.
the for sale by owner video I did? Somebody was like, "Take a for sale sign and shove it up your ass." In the comment.
That
I
would
was
be
like,
good
"Okay,
video.
That was brutal.
That would be a good video if you actually
yeah,
did that with a sign. I think you'd
Yeah.
get.
it might go viral." Oh man,
But you said, Christian, you said 20 hours a week you're spending on it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
It's a lot.
The research process, like, because this is where I think a lot of people get hung up. You have great, tools and graphs and stuff that you go over. are you getting those from like, are you subscribing to those tools? Are you building them yourself? Or like,
Good question. Yeah, so for the market update, that's because that's a good example of kind of the cross pollination of data. So I just have my operations director pull data from the local MLS for the month. So that would be closed, pending, and sold for the month. Now there are services you could subscribe to for that. You don't have to pull it yourself. I do that for the one section just because I feel like it adds some authenticity. It's my own number set. And then I use Altos research reports, which I do subscribe to that. I run through those numbers. And then I will also use a tool built into my MLS called InfoSparks. I'm sure a lot of people have a similar tool. So it's a combination of data pulling, which you could probably use AI to do it now. I don't even
yeah.
have to have my operations director. Combination of data pulling, a tool that's free already in the MLS, and then something that's paid. And
Okay.
you could pick just one. You don't have to do all three. I just happen to do all three in a video.
Okay. And are you building are you using AI to build the interactive graphs, or is that one of those tools that you have? Okay.
No, it's that I ended up doing through a service called Visme,
Okay.
Visme.com. I use Canva and love Canva, but Canva doesn't put data points easily into the charts. So this tool visme.com actually does a good job with that. So I've used that for a while and it's copy and paste. Like I set it up once and have made minor tweaks, but just copy and paste the data. So creation of that stuff is the simplest, 15, 20 minutes for that. Shoot it, edit it, and then after it's also repurposing. That's another part of it. So the live streams take more work, but I will download the transcript and then repurpose it, download the video, repurpose it, and put it on my blog, put it on YouTube or LinkedIn, put it on Facebook, TikTok, Spotify. I have a podcast on Spotify there, just dumping it on there. Um, so that's the other part of the 20 hours, in addition to like I said, the engaging with the audience, and then creating the newsletter. I'm putting that in there as well because that's part of the video content repurposing.
Have you found any hacks or tips when it comes to like thumbnails or like titles? Because that always seems to be like Josh and I have gone back and forth a ton on different styles, designs,
Yeah.
trying to get the right title. Have you seen anything that has worked for you from a thumbnail or title perspective?
That's a great question. And that brings up another point that you can go down such a darn rabbit hole with
It's crazy,
YouTube.
man. And the more I
Yeah,
go down it, the more I'm just like, I hate this.
I
Yeah,
know.
it makes you like frustrated because you try it and then it doesn't work, and then
Yeah,
you got to keep
yeah.
the mental fortitude.
No, and that's it. And it's so much work. And you're like, wait a minute, I just want to sell real estate. Why am I doing all this? So you can outsource the thumbnail creation and you can outsource there is a good AI app that a buddy of mine found to create thumbnails. And what the the AI app does is essentially create or copy the format from other thumbnails that are performing well on YouTube. So
Okay.
that's what you want to do is you want to copy what is working on other channels and most importantly, copy what is working on your channel. A lot of people forget to do that. If a video does well, you do a variation of that video. But as
Mm,
far as titles go, because the title and the thumbnail picture and the words on the thumbnail are three separate things. Okay. So use AI. So I've trained Claude to help me create content,
okay.
including YouTube titles. Quite honestly, I don't think it does a great job on YouTube titles. I
Mm,
think that ChatGPT does a better job of YouTube titles. So I ask it to create 10 and I find two or three I like. I take those two or three. I say, hey, I like these two or three. Create five more. Then from there, I pick three titles. And why am I picking three titles? Because we're going to ABC test. YouTube allows you to ABC test the title and thumbnail. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to test and see if we can ever find any darn patterns. Then the thumbnail picture, simple is better. And you can see some of the thumbnails that are doing well on bigger channels. It doesn't have to be a real estate related channel. It could be any channel. And then you're going to want, I love to create dissonance. And by dissonance, I mean the title and the words on the thumbnail contradict on some level.
Hmm.
My one of my best recent dissonance market update thumbnail titles was a picture on a beach of the back of some people, and it says "It happened" in on the thumbnail, and then the title is "This never happens in Southern California." So if you see that dissonance there, you're like,
Yeah,
wait
that's
a
great.
minute. You said it happened, but the
What
title
happened?
says this never happens. So I love dissonance. That's one of the things that you can go for when
Yeah, that's
creating
great.
titles.
Yeah, because it gets very frustrating trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And the problem is when you don't have a really engaged channel, you don't get a lot of feedback. Like at
Well
least
said.
on like and then you take like no views, no engagement as feedback, which there is true. Like the market is speaking to you a little bit, but you don't know if it's because the content is bad, the thumbnail is bad, the hook, the title. Like there's so many variations, and that's why it's like for me, I love what you said at the beginning. It's just like do what you are passionate about, love doing, talking about, just keep putting it out there, trying to refine it. Have you found that there's any length of video that's like when we started this podcast, we used to do an hour. And then
Hmm.
we went down all the way to, I think, 20 minutes because people were telling us they want it more shorter. Now we're usually between, 25, 35 minutes, somewhere in that range on the show. Have you found anything for you from a content perspective of length of video?
So to repurpose it, you're going to be limited once your videos get beyond a certain length. Like my operations director, Michelle, will say, "Oh, your video's over 15 minutes. Can't put it here, here, and here." And
Hmm.
that's always changing. So for repurposing, there are limits on how long. But the short answer is the video needs to be as long as it needs to be, which is an annoying answer, but it's the truth. But my market updates tend to get long. I try to keep those less than 20 minutes and then under that 15-minute mark. But,
Okay.
and then live streams, I try to keep that under an hour. And that's mostly for my guests. But
Okay.
I've had live streams where, especially with the eviction attorneys, because we get a ton of engagement from the audience on that. And that's another fun thing with lives. Depending on the topic, you can get a lot of engagement live. Um, those ones, like we could go for 2 or 3 hours if their schedules allowed it, because people want that content.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is a common question. People say, "Hey, how long should the video be?" It should be long form. It shouldn't be a short. It shouldn't be a quick video. I mean, look, you can do, "Hey, what's an escrow?" You can answer that quickly. But how do you fill out in the state of California, we have the 593 form in escrow that investors have to fill out. I still haven't done that video. I need to. But that would not be a 30-second video. That's going to be a longer video, and it's going to appeal to a different audience. It's going to appeal to an audience that wants to dive in.
Well, it's very niche. That's very specific. If somebody is watching a video like that,
Yeah,
they are in your lane, in essence. That's what
that's
I
it.
love about that type of content. That's what Josh and I have debated. Like even like stay paid. Like we were talking right in the green room. You could call it before we got on. It's like we were saying the more specific you can be, the better. Because ultimately, like YouTube is kind of like a search or it is like a search platform that
Yes,
people go and search to learn different things or to be entertained by different things. And it's like thinking about, hey, this might not get a huge reach, but the people it does reach, if 10 people, 15 people, 20 people watch that specific type of video, that is your ideal target audience. Like that is your audience if you niche down enough. Um,
exactly. 100 views on a very specific video about a neighborhood somewhere middle of nowhere, USA. That is where people get the leads that turn into business. So,
yes.
Luke, my parents and how they have real estate training for new homes, remodeling, etc. And you'd think I do more new homes content in particular. I've done some remodeling content, but there's a young dude in our office who decided, "Hey, I'm going to go shoot video with my phone on a gimbal of the new home communities in our area." And it's in Irvine. So these are very high price points. So he had some videos pop off, he got 40,000 views on one, which is a
Hmm.
lot of views.
Yeah.
But none of that matters. At the end of the day, he's getting deals and he's selling like $6 million new homes, and people
Woo.
have homes to sell. So he's got like a $10 million listing. So I'm like, darn it, I should be doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm qualified to do this. But that's another point as well, is pick your audience. Who do you like working with? Who do you gel well with? And then who do you aspire to work with? And please don't drive around in rented Bugattis to appeal to the luxury audience. Like, I mean, I guess you can. We're known for that in our silly
Drive a
industry, but
Bugatti, you know?
yeah, but that's who do you work well with, and then who do you aspire to work with? I think that's a big part of the audience. And then back to your question about like all the variables, Luke, don't get too wrapped up in all of that. Just try to do your best and just keep pumping out content. You could create 5 videos and play around with thumbnails and titles for 100 years, or you could create 500 videos and end up finding out more. It's like that
It's well
story,
said.
which it's that story. I'm sure you guys have heard it. I love that story about the pottery class where the teacher splits the class into two and says one group has to make one perfect pot, the other one has to make 500. Like, and by the end, the group making 500 makes much better pottery. That to me is how you do video, and that's how you sell real estate too, by the way.
Well, it's really like you look at life in general and you just go, one of the great rules, principles of life is that frequency creates greatness. That if you frequently go to the gym, if you frequently invest in your, relationship with your spouse, if you like the
Yeah,
frequency of something, though imperfect, iterates and evolves over time because as what is intelligence? It's like, how fast you get the feedback and can learn from the feedback, and it's a sign of intelligence. Is like you do something, you get feedback on doing that thing, and you adjust and learn from it. And how fast you do that is a sign of how fast your intelligence is. And
so
so
well
it's like
said.
just your
Yeah,
ability to pump. But most people, it's like podcast. What is it? Pod fade. 90% of podcasts don't go past 10 episodes.
that's
90% of them.
insane.
Yeah, it's
How
crazy.
many episodes do you guys have now?
Great question. 650,
700?
700,
Yeah,
something like that.
700.
Cheers to you guys. That is
There you go.
spectacular. Have you made
Yep,
any mistakes?
exactly. Thank you. Thank you. No,
No,
About
have you made
700,
any mistakes along the
698
way?
mistakes. Yeah.
Hmm.
698 mistakes.
Every
We
day I
haven't like
wake
our
up.
biggest issue is like I think is like picking, consistency. Like we've just kind of bounced
Within
around
our lane. Yeah, within our
within
niche.
our lane. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's been always our biggest struggle, and it's because we're always trying to, be better. So I think it comes from a good spot in terms of wanting to, where the changes come from, but we do tend to change, format and sort of,
Yeah.
style a little bit, but
Yeah,
No,
and
and
also the audience we serve, like should we serve all small businesses, just real estate? Because our
yeah,
company, Reminder Media, we work in 140 different industries.
I
So
know.
you
You
have
guys,
clients. So it's like, how do you make the podcast relevant? Should we go deep in marketing where we're pulling up Marketo as a marketing automation software and teaching people that? Or should we stay more surface level? It's like all those same questions that a real estate agent faces for when they're trying to do their content. I don't know what the answer is. I would tell you, like, my regret is not going deeper in a niche. Regret maybe is too strong of a word, but I don't know about you, Josh. I wish we would have niched down even more than
yeah,
we did.
yeah,
that's and I agree with that. Going niching down, the riches are in the niches. Trying to appeal to every audience, especially on YouTube, it's not going to play well. It's going to just confuse YouTube. So the faster you can get into a niche, but then when you're in the niche, sometimes you'll look around because I'm in a niche. And like I said, that one channel that's kicking butt, like I look at that and I'm like, darn it, maybe I did niche down too far.
Yeah,
And I see
it's
my,
so hard. We feel the same. Yeah, it's like
yeah, but look, the answer is there is no answer. Just you guys have done an amazing job. You got to where you are. It's a spectacular number of areas that you serve. Like 140 is insane. Like I couldn't imagine serving 140 different client types. I probably have 10 client types. So that's and as far as your question about going deeper, like on with that software you're talking about or whatever, like the answer is yes. You try it and see what happens. And what I like now that you're doing is you're keeping it simple. This shooting from where you are is going to simplify and save time. And that's like I'm in
Because
my
that's the
office.
other pain point that we see that I think the audience, you guys listening, can relate to this is like Josh and I know one of our big problems is we're not investing the appropriate amount of time to take it from good to great. Like you just mentioned, you did, doing 20 hours a week. One of the reasons you're successful is because you're investing the appropriate amount of time. We heard Alex Hermosi put out a clip right recently where he went to some content people that were crushing it better than him. This was back before he even reached where he's at today. And he's like, hey, I need you to take a look at my channel, need you to take a look at my social. What am I doing wrong? And the person just said, you're doing nothing wrong. Like, this is great. Why aren't you doing more of it? And then that person, I forget the exact numbers, but it was like a 10-1. Like, let me show
Yeah.
you what I'm doing. And it was like they were doing 10 things when he was just doing one, and they were spending 10x the hours in prep than he was. And you're like, yeah, I mean, to be Tiger Woods, you're going to have to be obsessive about golf and put it in. So it really also comes down to the definition of what you want for
Yes.
your life and define success, because there is that truth in life that, yeah, you're not going to be the master pianist if you are not investing the amount of time into being, professional at your, music, and same for YouTube.
That's it. And Alex is a great example where speaking when you were asking about video content, Alex Hormozy can put out a 2 hour video. For a while he was actually, and he may still do it, he was taking his 1 hour videos and he was putting them all together to
Yep.
create like a 10, 12, 15 hour live stream or stream together. But Alex is also great at building a team to help him with content.
Yes.
And that's what I'm not. And that is something I need to improve on. I need to, like I said, I need to get an editor, and I encourage all of your listeners to get an editor early on. You can outsource so much of this stuff now. And AI is a trap because actually what AI does is make certain things easier. And I think it's having certain things creep back in that maybe we shouldn't be doing. Like it makes it faster, but you're still doing it when you could be outsourcing it. So that's part of it. But back to what I said, like at the end of the day, YouTube is going to create leads for me, and those ebb and flow. There's going to be changes in YouTube. I can't control the algorithm,
Right.
but I do need to sell real estate. So that's the other side of it. Don't go too far down the rabbit hole of video because you still gotta make and sell widgets
You
like
actually
you
got to
do.
make a living. That's what we say about stay paid. It's like, well, this is our passion, our hobby,
Yeah,
that helps, hopefully helps our day job, you
it
know.
does. It builds
We-
trust.
exactly. It's value. It's whenever well, one, I've learned tremendous amount over 8 years of doing this. Like you just learned so much. It's just incredible the stacking, the cumulative effect of a couple hours a week interviewing and talking to amazing people like yourself, and you just learn so much, and your brain starts to pick up patterns of like, wow, that's a pattern of like every successful person tends to have that same thing, different maybe lane, but same type of pattern there. So that's been a super beneficial, but it is, one of those things where you just go, yeah, whew, it's just the time, the energy, don't overthink it, just keep doing it. I'm curious, knowing what you know now, what is like the one piece of advice you go back and tell younger Christian who's just getting started on YouTube to do
Oh
differently?
boy. Yeah, that's a great question. I'll have to think about that harder because there's probably a bunch of stuff. Probably I delegate earlier, find a darn editor who could help. That would definitely be a part of it. Um, Pivot to live stream
Okay.
and experts. What you just said about learning, that is the biggest bonus of what we're doing. In order to do content on arcane landlord-tenant law, I can't give tax or legal advice, but boy, do I understand how it works by the end of having to explain it. The learning is a big part of it. And then having expert eviction attorneys on while we're going live, I'm learning from them. They're answering questions. And I have in my quiver an amazing eviction attorney to refer a business to, and they
Yes.
refer business to me. And that is the other side of it. Like it's everything they tell us to do. Like build your network. Well, build your network on video. So
Yeah. So true.
That's
Because
it.
we've seen that for us. Like I ended up in Laguna Beach really from the podcast. Like I can trace it
Yeah,
really all the
That's
way
true.
back.
Yeah.
Like all the way back to, interviewing the Jimmys of the world and the Vinces and, all them.
it
And
was
just
so
knowing
smart.
like that's relationships. Like because you get like 40 minutes here where we can talk non-sales driven, no bad motive, just talking, and you
Yeah.
get to know the people that you even bring on. This has really been amazing, Christian. Like I feel like we barely scratched the surface. We just talked YouTube. We didn't even get into your business. We'll have to have you back to get into your business.
No, I appreciate it. And I love learning about you guys and what you're doing. And it is, give yourself some credit. Like it seems like you're both a little hard on yourself that you're not more consistent. Guys, you put out like almost 700 live streams. You're running businesses that are crazy successful. You're serving 140 industries. Like that's the other side of it. We're all
Well,
so
Luke and I both grew up Southern Baptist, so we're not allowed to take it easy on ourselves,
there you go. I was raised Catholic, same thing. But that's it. We're all so darn hard on ourselves. So it's like just, and that's another thing, what you're talking about is essentially atomic habits, Luke. Just small things, like celebrate the small victories. I'm terrible at that too. I'm always so critical and just thinking, oh, got to keep going.
Yes,
Celebrate the
same
small
here.
victories,
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
well
well
said.
said, man. Well
Christian,
said.
this has been awesome. Your YouTube channel is at Wire Associates. Anywhere else you want people?
No, that's it. Just check Google my name or Google Wire Associates, and then the live streams. I finally wisened up. I was just doing live streams, but I finally gave it a name. So that's the Real Estate Disclosure Podcast. So check that out as well. I'd love
Is
to
there a
see that.
normal like time that you do that, or is it just join your
It's
list, your email list?
pretty consistent Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Nice.
Pretty consistent, depends on the guest, but yeah, that's usually when it is. Otherwise, it'll be on Spotify. You can check them out there. So
Very cool.
you guys are
Christian,
awesome.
thank
Thank
you
you.
again. And thank you all so much for listening. You can get all of the links and show notes that we mentioned here over at staypaidpodcast.com. If you like this episode, want to show your support, go to YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel as well. Reminder Media. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you want to get hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com and follow us on Instagram at Stay Paid Podcast. And make sure to check out the next video. This one right here, wherever that is.
Yes.
For
There
this
you go.
episode of
That's
Stay
action.
Paid, I am Josh Stike.
I'm Luke Acree. See, taking action right in the actual video from what you've learned. Here's my action item for everybody listening to this, right? Is you need to be on video and you need to connect with local experts. What a great idea to go live and do, a Zoom that you then broadcast live to your Facebook or Instagram, different channels, and interview, whether it's the eviction attorney, the maybe estate planning attorney, financial advisor, insurance agent, wherever your lane is. Go pick one of the experts in your local town and do a live with them. And you'll be so shocked that the best thing about that is getting to know that other local business owner on a deeper connection, let alone all the content it gives you to repurpose out on your social, on your blogs, and put it out there to the world. Remember, the difference between top producers and mediocre producers in every business is top producers take action. Take action on that today.